Hey, good morning, troops. Today is Wednesday, our last day before Mr. Letterman comes back. So, no more of these videos, so hopefully we do a nice job. Hopefully you guys are still studying your polyatomic ions, getting the charges, getting everything. Now, yesterday we went over a PowerPoint that went through lots of namings, went through the cations, went through the anions, named all of the elements, talked about D and P block names. So what we have for today, hopefully Miss Finley has these practice problems in front of you. And so what are we going to do? We are going to go through the names of these practice problems. So if you guys would put on your thinking caps. Should I put on mine? I think so. Goofy in the house again. Hello. I like this hat. I'll be sporting it here. I'm looking to get a new Mickey Mouse hat, but it's all good. So, thinking caps on. And your rules. So if you have your rules out from yesterday, the PowerPoint, it says name the cation. So the cation always goes first. So we are going to name this potassium. Now it says name your anion. So in this particular case, our anion is OH. Now, since we see two capital letters together, we are going to look at that and say, oh, that's a polyatomic ion. So we are going to name that hydroxide. Now, if you don't know what OH is, that's fine. Look on your back of your crisscross method sheet, and you will find that OH is hydroxide. So name your cation first, potassium. Name your anion second, hydroxide. Same thing here. Name your cation first, lithium. Now, lithium is not a D block metal. It is found in group 1A. So now all you have to do is name your anion iodide. Now, if it comes off the periodic table in your notes, instead of saying lithium iodine, you need to say lithium iodide. So it always gets the IDE ending. Okay? Let's do another one. Name your cation. Yep, aluminum. Okay, now is aluminum a D block metal, which means does it fall within that little dip down section of your periodic table? Nope. Andrew, is this good? Almost like the horse head the other day, isn't it, buddy? Yep. No, aluminum is not a D block metal. So we just named the anion fluoride. Aluminum fluoride. Okay, now this next example is going to be a little bit of difficulty because it is a D block metal. So if you look at your notes, here's what we're going to do. Name the anion or cation like normal. Iron. Is iron a D block metal? Which means does it fall in that middle section of the periodic table? Yes, it does. Okay, so if you look on your periodic table, iron is in this D block metal. So they have multiple charges. Now, when we do the crisscross, where did that 2 come from? It actually came from up here as a +2. What is down here? It is a 1. So that actually goes there. So actually, if I gave it to you like this, from your crisscross, you would come up with the idea that the 2 comes down here, the 1 comes over here. Now, we are going to write these charges, as you found out in your notes, as Roman numerals. So what is iron's charge? A +2. So we are going to write it as a 2. Once you tell me what version of iron I'm using, you are now going to put it, name your anion. Chloride. Okay? So in D block metals, which fall in the middle of our periodic table, always look opposite. Whatever subscript is down there, that's its charge, and that's going to be reflected in your Roman numeral. Okay, let's do another one. Let's go to number 6. Cobalt. If you look where cobalt is, it is in the D block. So you have to have Roman numerals. So always name it first. Cobalt. Now, look opposite. What number is there? That's right, a +2. So cobalt's charge is a +2. So we're going to do it 2 just like we did here. Now it is coincidence that it was a 2 also, so not all D block metals are going to have a +2 charge. And then name your anion. Now NO3, if you look at your sheet, your polyatomic ion sheet, the name of that is nitrate. Okay? Let's do 7. Mg. Is Mg a D block metal? No. Mg is a 2A metal. It's still a metal, but it's not in this section here. Okay? So we just name it normal. Magnesium. What is SO4? Sulfate. So we'll say magnesium sulfate. Okay? Now, I do want to show you something. Chromium. Is chromium in the D block metal? Yes, it is. So we'll go name it. Now, what number is out here? We can't say 4. Do not say 4. That is PO4. That is phosphate. So it is going to be part of its formula. Okay? So you don't want to say 4. So what number is out here? 1. What number is down here? A -1. So you're looking at Cr +1, PO4, -1. Now, this is kind of tricky because if you have both 1s, if you think back to your empirical formulas, something was reduced. Now, what you have to do is, this is going to be a little bit of a goose chase here, is you have to double check to make sure that phosphate is a -1 charge. So if you look on the back of your crisscross sheet, is phosphate a -1 charge? Is it a -1 charge? No. It is a -3 charge. So if these were both 1s, and now you have a -3, this has to be a +3, so that they balance out and give you CrPO4. So you would call it chromium 3 phosphate. Okay? Now, you should be able to, at some level, be able to answer some of these. Ms. Finley will have the answers to the rest of these, so she can go over it with you if you guys need some work on the board. Now, let's flip to the back. This part, I think, is easier than the front because it's working backwards. You know the charges. You know how to crisscross. So let's put it together. So potassium. Potassium is K. It falls in group 1A. Group 1A has a +1 charge, right? So we're going to kind of create our own crisscross. So since that is a K +1, iodide, that's I, that is a -1. So when you crisscross everything and make a formula, you're going to write Ki. Barium chloride, Ba, has a +2 charge. Chlorine has a -1. When you crisscross that, you get BaCl2. Okay, now let's look at one with the D block metal. Iron 3 sulfate. Iron Fe. That Roman numeral means that it is going to have a +3 charge. Sulfate. If you look off your crisscross sheet, the polyatomic ion, sulfate is a -2 charge. So when you crisscross those, yes, still use parentheses from yesterday or Monday. So you're going to go Fe2SO4 3 times. So the 3 comes down here. The 2 comes over here. So it's a crisscross, and just cleaned it up. Okay? Let's do this one. Chromium. There's its charge. 3 sulfide. Now, notice the difference between this term. Sulfate, ATE, sulfide. All IDE endings are going to come off of the periodic table. Okay? So when you're dealing with sulfide, you know it's just S. S has a -2 charge. So, crisscross them. Cr2S3. Okay? Let's do this one. Sodium acetate. Sodium is Na+. Acetate, look on your sheet again. C2H3O2. -1 charge. So we know that the +1 and the -1 cancel each other out, and you can write this as NaC2H3O2. Do you guys know what this spells? Yep, that's right. Nacho. Do you know what cheese is not yours? Nachos. So what kind of cheese is not yours? You can either say nacho or sodium acetate. Okay, so you guys should be able to handle this from here on out. Again, Miss Finley is going to be able to give you the answers. And don't let me catch you guys using my jokes. Keep it real. Have a good day. We'll see you soon.